For those who don't know, every Sunday I get together with a few YouTuber buddies of mine and play some co-op games live on stream. So far we've gone through 2 of the Borderlands and just beat Vermintide 2, but now we're moving on to a new game, Monster Hunter World. In preparation, I've been playing through the early missions, and fighting dragons in that game had my thoughts go back to Skyrim. If I can hunt dragons here, why not create a build in Skyrim that does the same thing? So that's exactly what I did. Here today, I present to you my Skyrim Monster Hunter build. The main skills for this build are two-handed and smithing. In the two-handed tree, you should first focus on Barbarian, before then heading up to the Champion stance for reduced power attack cost. After that, Great Critical Charge, Devastating Blow, Sweep, and War Master will provide you with an array of different power attacks you can use in combat. With smithing, things are pretty simple. Go up the light armor side of a tree until you reach Dragon Smithing. Also, grab the Arcane Blacksmith perk to improve your chest piece. As for minor skills, we have Light Armor and Alchemy. With Light Armor, you'll want both Agile Defender and Custom Fit in order to improve your armor rating. Unhindered will then remove the weight and movement penalties of your worn armor, and finally Windwalker gives a healthy stamina regen boost. In the Alchemy tree, get as many ranks of Alchemist as you can before moving up to Physician and Benefactor to boost your potions. After this, grab Poisoner and Concentrated Poisons in order to make your poisons 25% stronger and have 2 charges per application. When leveling this character, I advise going 50-50 between health and stamina. For a standing stone, I highly recommend the Lord Stone in order to get boost to both physical and magical resistances, helping to keep you alive no matter what monster you're facing down. As for powers, the Red Guard's Adrenaline Rush ability can be of some help for keeping your stamina pool high, but I found myself relying more on a couple of shouts with this build. Dragon Rend is obviously great for grounding dragons. As a melee build, you don't want your biggest foe to be flying just out of reach and raining down fire and ice upon you. Second shout I focused on was Elemental Fury. By keeping my axe unenchanted, I was able to use this shout to greatly increase my attack speed, giving me utterly lethal DPS and causing most fights to be over in seconds. The weapon for this build is a Dragonbone Battle Axe. This mighty weapon is one of the strongest two-handers out there, dealing a hefty chunk of damage per swing without venturing too far into the unwieldy territory. Make sure to learn the reach of a weapon and get familiar with charge up time for the attacks, and you'll be carving through the thickest of hides. For armour, we have an interesting selection. We stick to the dragon theme with dragon scale boots, gauntlets and helmet, all granting us some of the best light armour protection possible. For our chest piece though, we have something unique, Savior's Hide. Now this may not be the strongest of unique armours, but it does have a really cool aesthetic and fits in well with the overall equipment theme. I wanted all the armour to be made from enemies that the Dragonborn had hunted himself, and this is the unique item you get for completing Hircine's Great Hunt, making it a perfect thematic piece. To go along with this idea, I also grabbed Kind's Token, providing a helpful reduction to damage that beasts deal. Sadly, there weren't any rings that fit too well, so my advice here is to simply keep your eyes open on your travels and grab whatever fits best. I didn't have too heavy a focus on factions with this build, as the character has little care or concern for the events of the larger world. All he really cares about is hunting the beasts of the land, but fortunately there is one faction for whom the goals align. The Blades want to see all dragons eradicated, and this happens to be the greatest of all monsters to hunt. For this reason, I would recommend joining the Blades and going on their dragon hunts, especially if you want a little extra help with the fights. Speaking of extra help, let's talk about the follower I chose for this build. Given the inspiration for this character, I had to go with a Khajiit companion, and this led me to Kharjo. This caravan guard will assist you once you retrieve his amulet, and he specialises in one-handed, archery and heavy armour. This is all perfect, as it means you'll get to craft even more dragon gear for him to wield, providing even more incentive to continue hunting dragons, in order so both you and your feline companion can be dressed to impress. And to fight. The fighting bonuses are honestly more important when dealing with giants, dragons and trolls. This two-handed monster hunter will use a variety of potions, poisons and food in order to get the edge over his fearsome foes. In terms of potions, I recommend hotkeying healing potions to restore your health rapidly when hit by a gigantic blow. Additionally, make sure to use a fortified two-handed potion to significantly boost your damage. When it comes to poisons, paralysis are the best in the business. These render the majority of enemies helpless, allowing you to get in a flurry of attacks while they recover. Dragons are immune to paralysis though, so for them focus on straight up damage. If you want some great potion and poison recipes, then I highly recommend checking out my alchemy guide, which I'll have linked in the description. I'd actually forgotten how to make my standard potions and poisons, so ended up having to watch it myself, as a bit of a reminder. Alchemy is all well and good though, but no self-respecting monster hunter goes on a hunt without a hearty meal beforehand, and in Skyrim, the heartiest of meals is apparently vegetable soup. This incredible dish will provide health and stamina regen, a bonus that actually lets you power attack over and over and over again. It's great. When it gets to combat itself, don't forget to use shouts to your advantage. As previously mentioned, Elemental Fury and Dragon Rend are two of the best, but feel free to play around with any others you're fond of and find what works best for you. The monster hunter was born and raised in the Alakir Desert. His family were nomads and often travelled through dangerous stretches of land. Due to this, the young Redguard had to be taught how to fight all manner of creatures, from harpies to dune rippers. Fortunately, the child excelled in these teachings, seemingly gifted in the slaying of beasts. He was able to keep all the nomads safe with ease, and ended up making a career from his proficiency for a time. In his early adult years, he would guard caravans as they crossed the desert, ensuring all supplies got there safely. After a few years of this though, he grew bored. He had bested every beast Hammerfell could present him, and desired a new challenge. And so he left his homeland, seeking to travel across all of Tamriel in search of new game. He travelled for several years, facing down many different monsters, slaying them and revelling in the new challenges they presented. After some light Minotaur hunting in Cyrodiil, he headed north to Skyrim, in the hopes to take on some giants. As he reached the border, his luck took a turn for the worse. He stumbled into a skirmish between two warring bands of soldiers. The Imperial victors seemed to view him as a threat and took him prisoner, escorting him to Helgen. It is here that the monster hunter finds the greatest of all creatures to slay, a dragon. Alduin's return may be a danger to the rest of the world, but it provides this Redguard the opportunity to hunt some of the greatest creatures to have ever called Nirn home. He had found the king of all the monsters, and would not rest until he had slain the greatest of them. And there we have my latest Skyrim build. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and share this video around with any Skyrim or Monster Hunter fans. If you want to see me playing some Monster Hunter World, then you're in luck. For each Sunday, myself, Katogenesis, Jared Gaming, and Crazy Eyed Eddie will be joining together for some monster hunting streams. These begin at 8 PM UK time. If you want to ensure you get notified for them, you can select all notifications from a notification bell, or better yet, join the Bad Company Discord and follow me on Twitter, both linked below. That's it for this video though. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing some of you on Sunday. As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.